Hi, boys and girls. Today we're going to read The Three Little Pigs. I want you to pay attention when I'm reading. When I come across exclamation points, how my voice changes, and you can tell that it's a real big, strong statement. And also when the three little pigs talk, how my voice changes a little for dialogue, and you can hear that the little pigs are actually speaking. So just pay attention for those things, and I'll point them out a little bit while I'm reading. This is The Three Little Pigs. Once upon a time, that's one of our story elements. When animals could talk, the same as people, three little pigs lived with their mother in the forest. It was Valentine's Day when Big Mama Pig said, "It's time for you to go out in the wide world to seek your fortune. But remember, beware of the big, bad wolf." Then she kissed them all around, and the three pigs set out for their travels, each taking a different road. The first little pig hadn't gone far before he met a man carrying a bundle of straw. "Please," asked the pig, "will you give me some straw to build my house?" "Certainly," replied the man, and he gave the pig a bundle of straw. Boys and girls, I hope you saw how my voice changed a little when each of the characters were talking. No sooner had the little pigs finished the house than a wolf came along, knocked at the door, and said, little pig, let me in." But the little pig just laughed and answered, "No, no, no, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin." Then the wolf said loudly, "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in." That was an exclamation statement, boys and girls. An exclamation point was at the end of that. So he huffed and he puffed and he blew the house in because it was only straw. Then the wolf ate up the little pig and didn't leave so much as a tip of his curly tail. The second little pig also met a man, and this man was carrying a bundle of wood. "Please," said the pig politely, "will you give me some of your wood to build a house?" The man agreed, and the little pig set out building himself a snug little house. It was scarcely finished when the wolf came along and said, little pig, let me in." "Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin," answered the pig. "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in," said the wolf. He huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed, and at last he blew the house in and gobbled up the little pig right up. Now the third little pig met a man with a load of bricks and said, "Please, may I have some bricks to build a house?" The man agreed and also gave the pig some mortar and a trowel, and the little pig set out to build himself a nice, strong little house. As soon as it was finished, the wolf came to call, just as he had done to the other little pigs, and said, little pig, let me in." But the little pig answered, "No, no, no, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin." "Then," said the wolf, "I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in." Well, the wolf huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed and he huffed and he puffed, but he couldn't blow the house in. At last, he had no breath left to huff and puff, so he sat down beside the little pig's house to think. After a while, the wolf called out, "Little pig, I know where there's a nice field of turnips." "Where?" said the little pig. "Behind the farmer's house, 3 fields away. I'll meet you here tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock, and we'll go together to get some breakfast." "All right," said the little pig. "I'll be ready." Well, the smart little pig got up at 5 and scampered away to the field and brought home a fine load of turnips before the wolf came. At 6 o'clock, the wolf came to the little pig's house and said, little pig, are you ready?" "Ready," cried the little pig. "I've been to the field and back long ago, and now I'm busy boiling a pot full of turnips for breakfast." Well, the wolf was very angry indeed. He made up his mind to catch the little pig some way or another. So he told him that he knew of a nice apple tree. "Where?" asked the little pig. "Around the hill in the orchard," said the wolf. "If you promise not to play any more tricks, I'll meet you here tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock, and we'll go get some apples." The next morning, the piggy got up at 4 o'clock and was gone long before the wolf came. But the orchard was a long way off, and besides, he had a tree to climb, which was not an easy matter for a little pig to do. So, before he had filled the sack he brought, he saw the wolf coming toward him. The little pig was dreadfully afraid, but he thought it was better to outsmart the wolf. So when the wolf said, little pig, why are you here before me?" "Are they nice apples?" he replied at once. "Yes, very. I'll throw you down one to taste." So he picked up an apple and threw it so far that while the wolf was running to fetch it, the pig had time to jump down and scamper away home. The next day, the wolf came again and told the little pig that there was going to be a fair in the town that afternoon and asked him if he wanted to go together. "Oh, yes," said the pig. "I'll go with pleasure. What time will you be ready to start?" "At 3:30, said the wolf. Of course, the little pig started long before that, went to the fair, brought a fine large butter churn, and made a Huffin' and Puffin' churn company. He was trotting away with it on his back when he saw the wolf coming. He didn't know what else to do, so he crept inside the churn to hide. But the churn started rolling down the hill and went rolling over and over with the little pig squealing inside. The wolf couldn't imagine what strange thing was rolling down the hill, so he turned his tail in fright and ran away home without going to the fair at all. Then he went to the little pig's house to tell him how scared he had been by the large round thing that came rolling past him down the hill. "Ha ha!" laughed the little pig. "So I scared you, hey? I'd been to the fair and brought a butter churn. When I saw you, I got inside and rolled down the hill." This made the wolf so angry that he declared he'd jump down the chimney and eat up the little pig. But the clever little pig put out a pot of water in the hearth laying beneath the blazing fire. Just as the wolf was coming down the chimney, the pig took off the cover, and in fell the wolf. In a second, the little pig had popped off the lid again. The little pig had wolf stew for supper, and after that he lived happily all his days, and he was never troubled again by the wolf. The end. Okay, boys and girls, we had a lot of story elements in this story. Think of the story elements that we've been talking about since last week. Beginning, middle, and end, good and bad characters, royalty, villains, once upon a time, happily ever after. Think of all your story elements and let us know which ones you saw in the Three Little Pigs. Have a good day. Bye-bye.